about the rule of law component as well, and I think that's been a good synergy.
To my colleagues, I've been to Afghanistan and Iraq like many of you, and we're trying to develop a rule of law program in Iraq, Afghanistan, Africa, you name it. Without some basic rule of law, no country can develop. And all the lessons we've learned the hard way from making mistakes, but finally getting it right in many ways, we're trying to create a center at the University of South Carolina where those who've been overseas can share their thoughts about what worked, what didn't. You could train before you went. Department of Justice, Department of Agriculture, Department of Defense. This is a team. This war requires a team concept, and we're trying to reach out to the Islamic world and create partnerships with lawyers and attorney generals and judges in the Islamic world so we can understand them better than they can understand us. And I'm excited about it, and I appreciate your support. Now, Justice Scalia came out yesterday or the day before talking about he thought it would be wise if we looked at our federal criminal code, particularly in the drug area, and see if we could reform it. And I think he's right. I think we've federalized way too many crimes, creating work for our judiciary that could probably be better handled at the state level. And what do you think about the idea of revamping the federal criminal code and looking at maybe undoing some of the over-federalization?
I've asked, when I came into office, I've set in place a number of working groups to look at that problem, that issue. Are we bringing the right people into the federal system? Are the sentences that we have for the crimes that are federal ones appropriate?
Like crack cocaine, and we finally fixed that, but that was just sort of an indefensible sentencing disparity.
Right, and I think the bipartisan effort that resulted in the lowering of that ratio from 100 to about 16 to 1 was something that was long overdue, and I think was a great example. People don't focus on it, but it was an example of, Republicans and Democrats getting together and doing the right thing, not only for the system, but something I think was morally right as well.
And an area where we may disagree, we'll talk about the law of war later. We don't have time here, but the recess appointments made by President Obama a while back to the NLRB, is there a situation similar to that in the history of the Senate or by our previous president of appointing someone to a federal agency under those